Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss a mini cork out of the bottle moment as the government officially announces its own proposal on a youth mobility scheme with the EU. What's that? Yes, the youth mobility scheme that lots of people wasted their time insisting Labour had categorically ruled out, despite me pointing out that they'd already quietly said they'd be agreeing to it last August. That's the one. Don't make me get my I told you so banner out. I am getting it out. But first, for daily political commentary, please hit the subscribe button to stay notified. So, what a waste of time all round. A waste of time on Labour's part for not being more open about it from the start. The scheme proposed it's a bit more restrictive than originally conceived, but it is a youth mobility scheme which allows young Brits who were not allowed a say on Brexit to be able to live and work in the EU again, albeit on a time-limited basis with caps on numbers. But maybe the cap will turn out to be sufficient for the numbers wanting to take part. We will see. And if it ends up being way more popular than the cap allows for, well, that may just allow some political pressure to nudge it up in time. You know, when Labour can boast about some major achievements in a few years and they can take a more useful line on things like this. But despite talk of Labour digging its heels in over this, it's clear that constructive talks were in fact taking place all along, because this proposal actually comes from the UK side. Yes, the rhetoric was very much about it being an EU idea and Labour would merely consider proposals. This is us putting forward our own proposal. So it's evident we have been discussing it internally as well. And we knew this. I talked last August about off-the-record briefings from the government saying, yeah, they're going to go along with it. They just want to change a few things. It had occurred to me that Labour wanted to use it as a bargaining chip. Now, that didn't work, hence the wasted time. But there was never any intention to refuse it. Labour are also emphasising a few things, to calm ruffled feathers, like saying EU citizens coming to the UK with this scheme won't be able to claim benefits. But it's like, but that's the case even for EU citizens moving to other countries in the EU where there is full freedom of movement. Despite what Brexiteers say, there is no EU rule that says someone can just move to a different country, even within the EEA, and claim benefits. Naturally, Priti Patel is reported to be doing her nut, describing it as a Brexit betrayal. You would think the person who designed the immigration system, which sent net migration to record levels and Reform UK storming up the polls, and by some margin in both cases, would observe a bit of dignified silence at this point. But no. Never mind, if nobody's really listening much to what Badenoch says these days, they're certainly not listening to one of her sock puppets. But I'm bound to say that this was also a big waste of time on the part of those who tried to make an issue of it, claiming Labour had ruled it out, despite not one single quote from the government backing those fake headlines up. There is so much we need to be doing to raise public awareness on Brexit issues. There are so many things we could do with the public being aware of. Distracting people with fake outrage about an agreement that was always going to happen was not a productive use of anyone's time or resources. We need to get better at strategic thinking. Not one bit of belly aching led to this announcement. It was happening anyway. They'd said so last August. It all felt like Wile E. Coyote stomping on the rock when it was already plummeting to the ground. Every time I tried to point out what was really happening, no, Phil, I'll believe it when I see it. Anyway. Actually, I once got my wife and I told you so cake when I was proven right on something. Don't worry, it's not something we argued about. But I was still right. You're not getting a cake, mind you, just a banner. And now the same folk are actually going the other way. They're going the other way. They've gone from, oh, Labour have ruled it out completely, to, oh, great, we've got an agreement. It's like, no, we haven't. It's just a proposal. The EU haven't agreed to it. It's a proposal from our side, which is really nice to see, because it means Labour, we can now at least say, well, are you now satisfied Labour aren't ruling it out? But the proposal is still weaker than ideal. It's certainly weaker than the EU really want. So there will still be talks. There may still be tweaking. There's good reason to suppose that an actual agreement will be announced very soon. There's a summit in May. All politicians like it when they can announce agreements at summits, but agreements in reality tend to be worked out in the usual way beforehand. And then they're just announced at the summits as if the leaders made this hammered out this agreement at this summit, right? Think of a political summit as being a bit like a gaming convention. They've already worked on the new game. They're just saving the announcement till the convention. Starmer will not want to leave the summit in May with just warm words. We need progress. He needs to show iron progress. We will want to announce something concrete, which means the details need thrashing out between now and then. We are having regular meetings at ministerial level with the EU Commission, so there's every chance to get this done. So then there will just be the small matter of fishing to sort out, which is the other major obstacle. This doesn't have to be done this year, of course. It will naturally fit into the Trade and Cooperation Review, but it would be very handy if we had our own proposals ready to go before that process kicks off, sooner rather than later. And I've already said my solution here would be to work with the fishing industry. They are landing more fish since Brexit, but they're getting less money. Who wants to do more work for less money? It's because British fish don't actually get sold much in Britain. We don't have much of a taste for it. The European market is the one with the taste for these kinds of fish. So we need to lower those trade barriers, which benefits fishermen. So there's incentive for British fishermen to readjust the quotas and actually get more money for the work they do. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, please click the like button and subscribe for further content. If you'd like to support the channel further, you can click the join button for memberships. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.